Welcome, 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 my lovelies. Welcome back. Um, so, first of all, I hope you are all well at the moment. As always, our health is the most important thing. So, hopefully, you are okay today. On this crisp January morning in the UK. It's not frosty anymore at the moment. It's got quite mild, but it's a bit crisp this morning. It's just a nice winter's morning, really. One of our grasses that grows really big, and it has all feathery bits at the top. It's completely died off and dried now, just brown. But with I'm pained to cut it down because it looks so beautiful out there, amongst all the evergreen stuff. Looks really, really lovely. Anyway, I've only said that because I'm looking out at the workshop window, looking at the grass, thinking, don't you look beautiful? Cheers, by the way. Oh, nice hot cup of tea. JB just made it and brought it down. He's just rushing off to see his grandchildren today. So I'm in here on my own, and I thought I would just catch up with one or two things. The main thing really is I'm now making plans to do my other house projects. So I've started working on the palace, not working on it, but working on plans for the basement in the palace. So a video, I will start that fairly soon, and we'll just see how that journey goes. I don't know exactly until I start, but that's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. So that's coming up fairly soon. But also I'm looking over here because I've got my bits over here. I'll bring them onto the mat here and show you what I have done this week, just playing around with different bits and pieces. John Boy's charity shop, as you know if you've seen the videos, that now needs dressing. That's going to take a while because he has to collect things over time. Some things will be made, some things will be bought, but he'll just have a mix of things. But I think hopefully he'll put quite a lot in, as the charity shops look like here in the UK. They're usually piled up with things. But what he did want was he wanted a clothes rail first of all, and then when he was talking about it, he said that he's going to do the downstairs shop area, and then the upstairs was just going to be a storage room. But then he thought it won't look as good, so he's thinking of having it 2 floors on as a charity shop. So he thought maybe he'll have a clothes rail downstairs and another one upstairs. So I will show you in a minute. First of all, I got in contact with our friend Martine. Lovely Martine, and she showed us photos again of her charity shop, which we'll never make it look like that. Hers just looks like a real shop. It's so incredible. But I asked her if I could make one of the clothes rails that she made for her shop. She just put some bits of wood together quickly. And it was part of many things she was making to put together to make this shop. So it took an awful lot of time. So it's just a fairly simple design, but perfect for its needs, for what John Boy wants it for. But I did say to him, after Martine agreed and says, yes, of course you can do the same thing. So I've done that. I'll show you that. But then, of course, as he wanted a second one, me being me, as always, wanted to stretch myself again, put myself outside the comfort box, as everyone calls it, or comfort zone. And I thought, what can I do to elaborate on a clothes rail? So I started. I actually looked in our charity shops here in the town, and there was quite a few various designs. I looked on the internet, at images and things, and there's just so many clothes rails. So I ended up doing something much more complicated, and it took a lot of time, but that's what I wanted to do. Always trying to push myself, as you all know. So without further ado, let me move my mug out the way and bring the camera down, and I'll show you the two clothes rails. Okay, so let me bring this one over. So this is I've just stained it with a sort of glossy varnish. I'll hold it up to the camera first of all, and then I'll show you on the mat. I'll bring the camera down. I've got a little brass rail in there, metal rail, and I've just curved the tops of the pieces of wood there and drilled a hole in each end for it to go through. I made the sort of U shape, square first of all, and then I made the feet and rounded them off at the edges and then glued those on at the ends there just to make it. But it makes a nice sturdy little shop rail, so he'll be able to put hangers on there, then fill it with clothes. So that was that one. Just nice, plain and simple, easy to make. I suppose you'd have to cut them a bit narrower, but you could make it out of the lollipop sticks or the coffee stirrers, I suppose. But I've done this, I suppose they're quite thin, so with clothing on it may not be substantial enough. So this is little bits of wood I've used, proper bits of wood. But anyway, so that's that one. And then of course my mind went berserk overnight, as it always does. And I decided to make him a clothes rail and a display stand as well. If I hold that up and can show you. So this has got a nice wooden base there, a waxed wooden base, so it stands on the floor, so you can put handbags or put shoes and things on there, or a couple of jigsaw puzzles standing or whatever. He can then hang clothes on two sides, so we'll have two rows of clothing, and then we've got a glass shelf on the top. Anything could go on there, little ornaments, couple of handbags, whatever John Boy's got. And I've made that in a sort of black metal effect with the brass rails again. So that, I'm really proud of it. It took me all day because of the thin bits of wood. To cut everything was quick and easy, but then squaring all this off and making sure all this is exactly squared and these bits are completely parallel. I did them on my metal jig, and I had to do one little section at a time and glue a tiny bit of wood, make sure it was square, leave that for 20 minutes or so to dry enough, then add another bit and gradually build up the whole thing. So it was a bit of a nightmare really to glue and to make sure every angle you look at is completely square. So it may look a bit simple, but it was quite hard work to get it to the end result. But I showed a few people, a couple of friends and family, and obviously John Boy because it's his, and every single one of them instantly said, wow, you should make them to sell. It's not really worth making lots of them to sell because of the time it took me to make that one piece. And then, you know, we all know what it's like. We don't want to spend a huge amount on a piece because if you're paying for the time and everything. So, but you don't really get paid for that, as we all know. So what I did do was to make one. So I have made a double there. Just for anyone that's interested, I've used wood glue to glue all the wood together, and a black acrylic satin paint. But to glue the glass on the top, or the perspex, would be a glass shelf in real life. I used the glue and glaze glue all along the sort of T shapes there on the wood. Put that all on first, and then put the glass shelf on top. Of course the glue is white, and then I just put a jar of something on there. It's quite sturdy, made like this, and I put a jar thing on there, quite heavy, and left it so it held it down flat all along the bits of wood. And obviously the glue, when it dries clear. It's dried, disappears. So I have made this one, which as you see this video, it will be in my shop. Oh, I've also, for this bit of wood, it's a nice solid piece of wood. I've waxed it, but I also put a couple of lengths of wood going across the way as well, so it doesn't ever warp or change shape or anything. It probably won't anyway, but that's just an added extra, and it lifts the base bit slightly off the floor, just a tiny piece of detail there. And also this one that is now in my shop, we've got some little hangers there. So let me I need to put my glasses back on for this, but you can, it's I've done the measurements to a real size display rail like this. I've done it from the real measurements, so this would hang 2 rows of coat hangers and clothing down each side. So this one comes with, I'll just put 4 coat hangers in. I think we only had almost a dozen, and they were for John Boy's rails, which aren't going to look much at all, but I just wanted to add four hangers on here, so it goes nicely with the piece for sale. So there we have it. Somebody will like it, and somebody will buy it, I'm sure. If not, John Boy will probably end up with 3 rails in his shop, which I'm sure we can fill. But I just thought, so many people had said, I thought it'd be a nice gesture to put one in my shop and just see how it goes. So there we are. Yeah, hopefully you can see them a bit better now than me waving them around in the air. I've stained that sort of roughly to make it look like older wood, just to try and make it look not so new looking. And there's John Boy's one, and the one for sale. I really like the design. Do let me know. You might not have any interest in clothes rails and display stands for a shop at all. But please do comment and let me know what you think of the design. I think it's great, but but you always do when you make something. Oh, lovely. So there we are, folks. Just a quick video. It's amazing to get the items to do a little video. The couple of days it took me to actually make them, and the video has taken about 10 minutes to make. And all that sort of thing really interests me, all the behind the scenes stuff, as it were. So anyway, let me put this down and wish you all a good day, a happy day, and a healthy one. And yes, and speak to you again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.